Yes, good evening and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. It's a lovely Thursday night in Glasgow. My name is Ryan Clifford and joining me is Mr. Aaron Stirling. Well, hope you're all well. Welcome back. It's been a few days since we're obviously back on. Like I says, Aaron, it's nice in Glasgow. I think I'm a bit fresher now than I was on Monday. I hope you're feeling well as well, mate. All the viewers and comments, hope you're very well. We'll get some comments very soon. But 1 point, I think we are away from Saturday, mate, for winning the league, mate. So, are you looking forward to the game and how are you?
No, very well. Hope you're well. Hope everyone that's watching is well. Yeah, I think you were a wee bit more under the weather than my good self. Had a few kind of family things I had to deal with. That's the reason I wasn't on Monday. So, yeah, no, it was a good wee day out on Sunday about the semi final. The Venoms were flowing, shall we say? So I know it was very good. Obviously, a great result. A bit slow to start with, but when we kicked in and that first goal was scored, I think we just kind of pushed through St Johnstone, and they just obliterated, shall we say, them. And we're looking forward to this weekend. Obviously, it's happy to be kind of the green and white side of Glasgow. You're looking at wrapping up a potential treble. It seems to be we're winning trophies kind of year on year now. So it's good to look forward to potential trebles rather than kind of next season FC, you know what I mean? So you're looking at it's always a positive. I think I'd much rather be in your shoes right now. So yeah, I think every Celtic fan's happy. Look forward to Saturday morning away to Dundee United, and hopefully we can wrap it up with a good performance and hopefully a good result as well to go with it.
Just a good hail to you all. Paul says Ryan around, hail troops. There's a few other people on as well, Alan. Tommy says hail Ryan and Alan. Hail, hope you're well. Plunge says the boss is missing. You've got two bosses here, Plunge, mate, unfortunately. The two bosses are here, mate. So hope you're very well, mate. Few others as well. Aye, that's that, Plunge. Looking forward to watching our today's team win the league on Saturday, hopefully. And if it's not Saturday, then it'll be whenever, because it's finished. So, aye, Alan, what was your take on that, obviously? I seen the article myself. I just think people in Scotland, whatever reason whatever reason, when Celtic are dominant, Celtic are playing well, Celtic are winning trophies, it seems to annoy people in the media, and it seems to annoy people in Scotland, all over the world. It's too easy for Celtic, but when other teams do it, it's well done. He's have done well and he's worked hard and he's played nice football. But when Celtic do it, it's tedious, it's boring, it's just Scottish football. And like Cal McGregor says, it's the norm now for Celtic to potentially go for these trebles. And if they don't win it, it's a bit like, oh, why you not winning it? But for me, I'm with Callum. I don't think it's appreciated enough, because as much as it might seem easy to a lot of people, the season we obviously trying to speak about, we lost to 10. They didn't win a treble, and it was probably the biggest chance for them to do it, and they didn't do it. So to say that it's easy for me is disrespectful to the players and the manager who put in hard work all year round to do it. But for me, Aaron, it's tedious to put. By the way, the treble's no one. It's just a potential. Even to win a double, it's very tedious in your team win trophies, mate. And if that's what it takes now to be a journalism, that you just write nonsense, it's for me, mate. It's I don't know how you get to a journalist. Is it just writing rubbish? Because that's the way it seems.
Well, it's successful because it's clickbait. It's got us talking about their headlines, so that's what they're aiming for. Uh, I get somehow that they're seeing how far kind of Celtic have been ahead in regards to the trophy haul in the last number of years, and obviously you look at other countries and well, not every country, because you look at certain countries as well. When you look at Germany, maybe last year with Bayer Leverkusen getting the league, but it's the majority of the time it's Bayern Munich. You're looking at France in particular as well, with the majority of the time that it's Paris Saint Germain. So it's no tedious for Celtic fans, but I can see maybe a mid-table kind of somebody that's sitting looking in Scottish football can see it as maybe tedious that it's the same it's the same club that's winning kind of trophy after trophy after trophy, but I can assure you as a Celtic fan it's definitely no tedious to us. It's rather exciting that we continue to kind of have this trophy dominance, but hopefully it continues to go on like that. As we've said a number of times that this season, you've got to give kind of full credit to the management, the coaching staff, the players, the club, etc. But it's not been perfect. Are we expecting to win leagues? Are we expecting to win trebles? You'd like to say no, but in a way, we've spoken about it before. We are expecting that because when you look at how far ahead in every department that we are, you're looking at the kind of financially, you're looking at the infrastructure, you're looking at the players, you're looking at every single thing behind your club is levels above, at present, is levels above every other kind of club in the country. So, like in any kind of form of life, when you've got all the best kind of things, all the best things going for you in business and life, etc., you're expecting the best results. So, yeah, you've still got to give credit for the players and the manager and the coaching staff following through with that and kind of winning the league, winning the League Cup at present, and hopefully going ahead and completing the treble, be winning the Scottish Cup. It's no easy, but what the club has put us in a place that we are the best set up to kind of achieve that. So we need to, we get this season out the road, but we need to make sure that in the summer transfer window, I think Brendan's alluded to it a few times as well. I think there needs a bit of strengthening to make sure that we are the best version of Celtic that we can possibly be. No matter if it's tedious or not, there is potential there for us to kind of push on even further. And I think as a club, we should be looking to do that kind of every transfer window. And maybe we've not done that in the last couple of transfer windows. And I think that's why we've seen the manager maybe a bit frustrated at times.
No, like you say with the clickbait stuff, aye, of course, it's clickbait, Alan. But sometimes when how that's been passed is, for me, it should be a knowledgeable article that you put out. Aye, maybe the headline's clickbait, but what you're putting in is just nonsense. I can understand clickbait, but I just can't understand when somebody's putting something through that they know it's just not true. I get that, yes, we might be expected to win the league, but you still need to work hard. The players still need to turn up. Everything's still got to go in your favour. Like we did at McDermott Park, we get beat. That could happen in the cup, and then don't win a cup. So like you get through even like Queen's Park. There you go. If that was Celtic, if Celtic you beat at Queen's Park, get Brendan out the door. Why we not beating Queen's? But listen, it happens. Let's be fair. They shouldn't have lost to Queen's Park, but they did, and it happens. These cup shots can happen. But for me, stuff like that, for me, it's just nonsense. And I do agree with you, obviously, with Brendan. I think, obviously, he's mentioned one or two times about the summer, and I think you will see. I think I did mention it with JP on Monday night. I don't know if it was with Francis when it was on the dial. And I did say that I think next year will be this team where you see Brendan's team, especially in Europe, because he can't just be brilliant in Europe every night. I think it's going to be a build, and better this year. Hopefully that continues into next year. But obviously another thing that's just popped up before we come on now, and is obviously the season boot prices. Again, it's not something I want to spend too much on, but obviously it's been hiked up a wee bit. Do you think it's fair? Bear in mind, this is without the European money, this is without merchandise, this is without any transfers on the route, this is just own season books. Should they be getting hiked up, or should they be able to, obviously, we all know it's a business, right? And us as fans, we need to realise that as well as a business. But sometimes I think where's a wee bit back to the fans. We're saying about the support. We love the support and we appreciate it, but I get winning trophies is success and we get rewarded by that as a fan. But what other incentives is there got to go to games? You're paying all this money, and then they're wanting Martin O'Neill tickets, they're wanting this, they're putting out new strips. I know it's your choice to buy it, but let's be fair, it's giving you a story. Come on, get it. So what's your thoughts on it, mate? Do you think it's fair, or do you just on the opinion that it's business and it's just unfortunate that that's the way it goes? But for me, I think it's a wee bit, for me, it's just greed, mate.
There is certain matters that you'd say to the club kind of read the room when you're putting the kind of two things out at once. That's maybe a bit too much, and that's why you maybe get a reaction. I think the way of life at present, you're looking at inflation. Everybody, when you go to the shops, you realise that a bar of chocolate last year it was £1, it's now £1.75, etc. There is inflation, and there is money that things go up. It's been up a considerable amount, I think, when you look at it percentage-wise. But is it worth the product that we're seeing domestically? I don't know. I think that is a large amount of money that you're getting asked for. It is supply and demand as well. So the club know well that there is a large waiting list. All right. Thought it says an old banger there. Was that a bummer? There is supply and demand, so they know there is a waiting list. They know that they can kind of push it that wee bit extra and kind of increase it probably as much as they like. I wouldn't say kind of crazy amounts like the English Premier League, but they can increase it that wee bit more than they probably would. And they know that people will pay it. People don't want to kind of lose their season book, so you're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. That you maybe feel that possibly taking advantage of slightly, but you don't want to lose your season book either. You know that if you give that up, somebody will just step in and pay the money anyway. So it's one of these things. I would have liked to kind of see Celtic no take advantage of the fans as much, considering you've got kind of 3 or 4 tops coming out the merchandise etc. every year. And then you're looking at the kind of events that they've got. I think there's one in the Hydro as well, later on in the year, isn't there? The Celtic story or something, I'm sure was on last year. You've got that's kind of quite a bit of money. And then you've got, she says about Martin O'Neill, then you've got kind of pre-season friendlies, cup games, European games that are quite pricey as well. So it does cost a lot of money to be a Celtic fan. It's down to the individual if they want to pay it, but Celtic know that the majority of the individuals will come across and pay it, and that's where we're at basically, I think.
Aye, like you say, Alan, it's all obviously people's finances are all different in the world, and I get the inflation part, and I get the world's moving up a wee bit in terms of the prices and things are getting dearer. But like you say, this is before the season is finished. I know that's the case anyway. I know that's what happens anyway. So I'm no complaining about that. But like you say, that's before any season, any merchandise, European tickets. Bear in mind, we don't even know who's even coming in or no. So that's before you've even bought a player. So there's loads of things that are pros and cons for me, Alan. But for me, I think I don't see the reason why they just can't freeze the prices. I don't understand. For me, it's greed. That's just the way I see it. It's just greed because they've already got 70 odd, 80 million, £90 in the bank. They don't need an extra fiver off of me or an extra 20 quid off somebody else. I get
You
it's a
can't
business,
freeze
so
the prices, but right, that there
no,
needs
I
to be
don't
a
mean
certain rate
freeze
of
it, but
inflation, but aye, they might have
aye.
because they need to increase wages for
No, I
people
get
that's working
that.
in the
Aye,
stadium,
I
etc.
don't
So
mean freeze as in like
aye,
never put them up at all. But for certain people that I know that have been put up more than others, it's like I can't complain for me, right? I've not been put up much at all, but there's some others that have been put up more than others, which is I
but
think it
right
all
and saying it'll be
depends.
a percentage wise, it'll be
Aye,
a percentage wise
it
across the board.
depends. I don't know if it depends where you sit as well, stuff like that,
Aye.
right? But for me, I just think I'm a bit like you, read the room a wee bit as well. But listen, there's going to be other people who say, well, you're getting Jota, you're getting Tierney, you're getting McGregor, you're winning trophies. So it's actually, compared to the Premier League, it's pretty cheap, which I get that. But I'm with you. In terms of some of the teams we're watching at Celtic Park, again, it's no disrespect, it's just the product of Scottish football. Is the money valued to what maybe season books are? I think the majority would say no. Domestically, I don't think it is because to talking on average, I think me and you spoke before we came on. The last time I bought a ticket without my season book was years ago, and it was like 28 quid, I think, for Celtic versus Hibs. Now you're potentially talking over £40 a game. I know we'll touch on that for the game at the weekend, but
Ross County or something like that.
that's what I mean. So surely there's got to be a bit of that way. There's got to be a bit of balance in between that, no?
And I think the model you need to look at as well, the Bundesliga, is that not something like £16 a ticket they're looking at?
But
It's not that flat.
see when I don't know if it still happens, but you used to your match ticket get free transport as well.
So if there was incentives like that, I remember years ago, I don't know if you can remember, maybe it was, I'm a few year old on you, but you used to get at least one cup game with your season book. You used to get a friendly, and if it was a European qualifier, you used to get that for free as well.
That's
Just
right,
like it was incentives, so that's basically been done away with now. So they see it's not going to change. It's you see it as a business. They see the fans as kind of cash cows we're putting into the club, whether that be kind of merchandise, season books, tickets, events that they're putting on, etc. There is a vast amount of money going into the club. Are we seeing the end product in the league for that kind of money that you're paying? I'm not so sure. I think you look at Celtic have got very quality players. There's no doubt about that. But when you look at the opposition that we're up against, does that kind of merit the price that you're paying? Does us sitting kind of watching the likes of kind of bringing in Liam Scales, Greg Taylor, Adam Ida, I don't want to slag anybody, but is that matching up to 40 odd, 50 quid for a ticket? I'm not so sure. It's only the individual that will be able to tell you that if that's money, if that's value for money, if it's money worthwhile. But as I say, it's up to the individual. The club know that the fans are going to pay for that. It's up to the individual if they want to come across and put their cash there.
I see I'm meddling like you in terms of it's not really players in our team. It's more like you say you're obviously if it's Ross County, Falkirk might come up. 40 odd quid to see Celtic Falkirk. That's I think that's a bit dear. Personally, but again, I'm not going to speak too long on it because I know it was just a wee brief mention because obviously it came out obviously to IPL going next week. Other guys will come on the island on Monday and they can get their thoughts on it as well. Some fans will be fine, mate. Some fans will be no, I'm not going again because I can't afford it. Some fans will be okay, I'm not a fan of it, but I'll go. There's loads of opinions, Alan. But obviously the weekend's game as well. We've all touched on it in a big bit of depth after. Obviously the ticket prices as well that Dundee Utd have hyped up to. I think it's £43 a maximum, and I think it's 41. I think concessions are 20 odd pound or something as well. But I think it's £43 for me or you to go. I don't see why it's allowed. I get why Dundee United have done it, and they've every right. Listen, they've got to look after themselves. They know Celtic fans are, and even I think it's the case when Rangers go up to Tannadice as well. They've charged more because they've got the bigger clubs, they've more fans. They know they'll sell it out. Listen, Johnston, I think it was nearly 7,000 Celtic fans or something like that in McDermott Park because they know that they're going to obviously go. But the difference is, see, us that are gone, we're not made that money. The club's made that money. Me and you, JP, everybody, all the guys that go to games and away games, whatever, we're not the guys that made that money. It's the club that's big financially, not us. So that I get the reason why they're doing it, but surely, like I don't know if it happens down south now, down the lower leagues, but I'm sure it's in Germany. Surely it should be capped. I get the Celtic and Rangers game, the derby games, right? I get that because it's a derby game, right? I get it, and it's always been the highest ticket price, right? But it's normally what I think it used to be 40 odd quid for it. I think maybe 50 odd quid now. But then you're 42 quid a bit of Tannadice. That's without your travel. And say you're buying your kids stuff, you're buying juices, you're buying. It's a lot of money, man.
Like you said, it's up to the kind of governing body to put in kind of some sort of cap. I wouldn't blame the clubs like Dundee United. I think they're just taking advantage of what they can do to kind of better themselves. I think it's up to the SFA or the SPFL, whoever it may be, to bring in some sort of cap that says that the maximum is this, the minimum is that. You see it in the Champions League as well. I think the minimum was like £42 a ticket, and clubs can charge up to £62 a ticket. It was something like that.
Is
I'm
that
sure for the
UEFA?
package. That's UEFA. So they
Aye.
put in some sort of guidance that has to be adhered to. I'm not sure if the SFA or the SPFL, if they've got something similar to that. But that kind of price hike because Celtic are going to be winning the league. Well, hopefully they're going to be winning the league against Dundee United at the weekend. For clubs to take advantage of no guidelines being in place, then I think that has to be remedied. I think that probably has to be looked into, because I think it's obviously taking advantage of fans, maybe the bigger clubs, and I don't even know if it. What the likes of kind of Aberdeen fans as well, they kind of travel all over the place, if they've been taken advantage of as well. But you look at the two clubs in Glasgow, it's definitely the case when there's something that matters on in an away game, the tickets seem to kind of increase quite substantially. So you would like to think that the club are kind of looking at that and making inquiries about to the governing body, why is this the case? There should be a cap, there should be a pricing guideline where how much tickets should cost, no matter what the occasion. And I would hope to God that kind of Celtic as a club are looking into that.
No, I agree with you, Alan. I think it's got to be looked at. I think it's got to be cut. It's got to be that. It's got to be scrapped, because it's no, the fans are not made of money. The club, Celtic might be the biggest budget and biggest financially, but they're no paying the tickets. It's us that are paying the tickets. It's fans. It's no Celtic. So aye, for me, Alan, just on that, I think it's wrong, and I get it's a business sense. I get why they're doing it, but I personally don't think it should be allowed, mate. And obviously on the game, it's a massive game for Zara. If we get a point, we win the league. You'd like to think we would go and do it, but it's still they're flying the new United. Of your boy up front, Sam Dalby's doing well. Where I know he'll stay at them or not. I think he's on loan for Wrexham. He might go back. I don't know if they want to try and sign him, how much he is. Obviously Wrexham are doing well at the moment as well, and they're financially cash rich, obviously with their owners as well. So. But what's your early thoughts for the game, mate? Obviously, James Forrest. I think if Celtic win the league in Saturday, he's Celtic's most ticketed player, which is amazing considering not a lot of guys play a lot of football with Celtic now. Mine basically their full career. So, but what's your thoughts on the game, mate? Early doors.
Yeah, it could be a difficult game. There is obviously a bit of pressure in the game with the Celtic players, because we're looking to what we could have done it the kind of last league game. So you're looking forward to this league game that we're going to do it, hopefully. And when you look at the last time we done it was in 2022 at Tannadice. I think that was that no one each with Marcus scored,
Jackie
didn't
Marcus, aye.
so it's these kind of games are never the most straightforward. There is kind of a lot depending on them. They can be kind of nervous at times. So I would like to think that we kind of see a performance that we seen the weekend in the cup for kind of 30 minutes onwards. If we see that kind of performance, I think that we should be able to take care of the United. That kind of performance, I think, would come with a relatively comfortable win. But as you've seen for Celtic this season, we've not been the most consistent, shall we say. We've seen glimpses, we've seen that we've been very good in one half and then maybe pretty poor in the second half, or vice versa. So yeah, it's all set. The kind of stage is set. We know that if we get a point, the league's won. It basically is won just now. But we would, I think everybody would agree, we'd like to do it in a bit of style as well. You'd like to see a good performance and let the players and the fans that are paying that kind of astronomical prices have a comfortable and a enjoyable day, because there's nothing worse if it kind of lingers on and it's kind of getting into the last minutes, etc. And we're maybe kind of drawn. So I would like to see us kind of put on a show, shall we say, and kind of win the league in style. Hopefully we do that. I think we've got the capabilities to do that. We've got the players that can do that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how we get on, and I'm pretty confident that it will be a good performance and a good result.
No, I get what Toby was saying. Toby, you're spot on, mate, in terms of Ibrox. I totally get that. I can understand to a certain degree that Ibrox is going to be the dearest game, or Celtic Park for them across the water. It's got to be the highest ticket price in Scotland. I think you're a bit more aligned to pay a bit more because you know it's a derby game and that what comes with that. But I think the fact that they've hiked it up for what I know, Toby, you might know more than me, mate, but I've never heard Celtic fans been charged 40 quid in my life, apart from Ibrox, more than that Ibrox. I've never been Aberdeen, Dundee United, Dundee, St Mirren. I've never ever seen Celtic fans been charged £43. And aye. So I've seen so Dundee. No, I thought that, Toby. I thought that, mate. Thanks for confirming that. Cheers, mate. But I can understand the Ibrox thing, Toby. I get that, mate. I'm not what to say I'm going to dick myself here, but I'm been more aligned going right 50 odd quid £5, right. I know that's the price it's going to be anyway, so I'm more likely to go right okay. But say it's not with 32 quid for Dundee, to just say normally, right, then you're priced. I know people think I'm nitpicking here, I'm like it's only a tenner, right? But say you're taking a kid with you, or you're having to travel on, it's an extra tenner in petrol. It's more and more as it goes along. Maybe I'm just nitpicking here, Alan, but I don't think it's right that if ticket price is agreed. That's like me and you agreeing to a taxi fare and going, right, it's 20 quid, no bother. And then we get the taxi, goes, no, it's 28 quid, boys. Mate, no, money. You told me 20, you told me 20 quid. It's the same, it's the same situation.
Yeah, no, I think it's just down to the individuals. Celtic have got is kind of we're succeeding, so the club know that it's got to be paid.
Spot on, mate. Spot on.
Aye, so you're in between a rock and a hard place, as I say. You either pay it or you don't, because you know the next person that's available is going to pay it. So if you want to see your club, you want to see them, especially when they're successful. So the majority of people are going to kind of make sure that they kind of put aside that kind of money, or they get it kind of any way they possibly can to kind of get to see the club. So I just think that the pricing in football overall is starting to get a bit too pricey. I see them kind of plunge it as well. It's going to price people out. It's starting to get a bit too pricey considering the cost of living, etc. It might end up that some people can't afford to get to the football to see the team that they love, and for that, for the kind of the working class people not being able to kind of afford to see the club that they love, that would be a shame in football, because as as Jockstein says, without fans, football's nothing. So yeah, I think we can see what happens the next kind of couple of years, but I think it's starting to get a wee bit out of control, the amount of money that it's costing to go and watch a football game, the amount of money it is costing to support the club. But these teams know that we will pay it, and that's the kind of position that you're stuck in.
Toby says, Alan, it's sad. We are, as you say, in between a rock and a hard place. That's why a few people I know share books with family at the cost. It's just kind of hand. No, Toby, I think what you said there, and I agree with Alan as well. But what you said there, mate, it's a lot. I know people share books with family members and their brothers or sisters or their grannies, grandads and stuff like that. I know people do that as well. Some go to half games, some go to half games as well. So I don't think we don't talk about Celtic, I think, Alan, but in terms of the general consensus of football and even down south, it's ridiculous. I think you're talking over £1,000 for like a season book at Arsenal, who have not won hardly anything, remember. I get, but down there you're seeing a better quality player come to the Emirates and all that. I get all that stuff, but like you says, mate, it's in terms of Scotland anyway, in terms of Celtic and even basically every team in Scotland, the majority of teams are off of working class areas. And I think, again, it's not the club's fault that prices are going up. I know they need to go to a certain degree and some things need to go up, but like you say, mate, it's again, maybe we're just nitpicking as fans and people just think we're bored and try to put something out as to talk about. But I just think it's a general concern for a lot of people, because a lot of guys and females as well, they might take their sisters, their daughters, their sons, their nephews, and whatever else. People, it's not just that. It's, and that, like Toby says, it's the cost of buses. People need to organise buses. It's just, it's, by the way, people still go and you love it. And when you go to games, you score goals and you win trophies. You're not thinking about it too much. But when it comes up at a point in time, and it's a topic of conversation, I do think I think there's got to be a bit of wiggle room somewhere around where, like you says, incentives. So, like you says, I don't know what's going to be. I don't know if there's anybody on here who's watching us. They can maybe help us on this, but what's involved in terms of anybody who's in supporters clubs, if you know, if we're getting the playoff on the book, or we're getting a friendly, or we're getting a charity match, or whatever we're getting on the book. But for a while, I don't think we've had anything at all. I don't think was it last year or the year before. We didn't have a home friendly. It was James Forrest's charity game, his testimonial, and that you had to pay for his seat as well. So it's just these small things. Again, listen, we get rewarded for seeing quality players. We get rewarded for nights out and days out supporting the team and celebrating trophies and trebles and doubles. I get all that. European team at Celtic Park, Atlanta away, Dortmund away. I get it all, but see if you know a season book order on night and you can get a holiday, a ticket every game, you're paying around about maybe just a bit less than a season order. So where's the incentive for fans on that side? I know by the way there's incentives for you, and there's no. It just depends what way you look at it. So if I gave up my book, right, and I was able to get a ticket, right, I might pay a bit less, but what other thing am I getting that a book order's no? Because I can maybe get the package a bit dearer. That's it. A bit cheaper. That's it. What other advantage are you getting?
I think you're basically just paying for the fact that you're guaranteed those tickets. There is times that maybe if it be kind of Rangers at home, etc., that you'll not be able to kind of get a ticket, whether it be kind of trophy day or if it was a home game and we won the
That's
league.
what Alan says as well, mate. Aye, spot on, mate. Spot on, mate.
Aye. So I don't think anything's going to change. We can sit here and kind of voice our opinions. I think the opinions we're saying pretty fair. I think that a lot of people might be priced out of kind of supporting their team and going, kind of getting their season book and kind of getting merchandise, etc. I used to get three. Alan used to get three. Used to get a friendly. Used to get a European qualifier, and you used to get a League Cup game, the first one or the second one, whatever that may be. You used to get that. But all the incentives they've gradually kind of disappeared. So whatever we say here, it's not going to change anything kind of rapidly. The club know that they have got the demand there, so they can basically charge what they like, and they know that as long as we are kind of still successful, then they're always going to have somebody to kind of fill that seat. If somebody gives up a seat, if somebody doesn't buy an individual ticket, they're always going to have that somebody that's going to come in. It's just a conveyor belt of fans that are want to kind of see their club, especially when we're being this successful. So the club are kind of massively worried about the fans, especially when they're putting out the likes of kind of Martin O'Neill things, etc. And the amount of kind of merchandise that they're putting out. And I know it's your choice if you want to buy that. Well, I buy the tops religiously, you know that. But sometimes when you get children, etc., and all the children see all the new tops out and they're constantly getting on your back and saying, "Oh, Dad, Mum, I want this top, I want that top." It can be very, very expensive to follow a club like Celtic. But as we've said before, I think we've been talking about it. There's no a great deal we can do at present.
No, I think it's just a conversation I like to put there and see if other fans feel the same. Because I know some fans might feel different, some fans might feel the same. I agree with you as well on the strips. I buy the training gear personally. I think the training gear's just cheaper as well, and it's better. I just prefer the training gear. But a full strip years ago, like your top shorts and socks used to be at maybe 60, £50. Now you're talking about 60 quid alone just for the strip. The The T-shirt.
I'm not.
That's what I mean. That shows you it's really pricey. So, but like you says, mate, whatever we talk about, it's probably going to change. And if it's not going to get Dermot Desmond saying, "Oh, okay, lads, I'll take 10 off your book because we're talking about it." Do you know what I mean? But obviously, like you says, mate, Saturday, look at the football, mate, big game for us to try and get at least a point. But obviously, you want to try and win the game and go out with style. Do you think they'll make any changes, Alan, or do you think they'll go for the team that played at the weekend, or do you think he'll put Maeda back up front? But overall, do you think he'll go strong, or do you think he'll maybe put in a few twists?
No, I think he'll go his full strength. The other question being is, does he stick with the same team? Do I think he should stick with the same team? Probably not. I think there might be a couple of players there that I see improvements on the bench. I think especially we spoke about it watching the game on Sunday. I've not seen the podcast back Monday, but I thought that the one player that stuck out that didn't kind of fill me with hope, and I've said it too many times, and I don't want to go on about him, but I would bring Maeda back in because I don't see what Adam Maeda's offering apart from that tap in that he scored, and so he scored one goal in a number of games, etc. So for me, I think that change should happen, whether that be that Jota or Nicholas could come back in. Maeda slots into the centre forward position, but I think he will go full strength. What Brendan sees full strength, whether that be sticking with the side that won convincingly in the cup game. Only time will tell, but for me, I think we're strongest when kind of Maeda's played through the middle up front. Especially when you get another option like Jota or Nicholas Kuhn that's going to replace Maeda in the wing position.
Child Paul says same team, but he'd swap Jota for either.
That's probably what I'd
Aye,
me. I'd be somewhat in that.
I'm probably the same. I thought he'd have done okay in parts and involved his goal moments and goal involvements. His goal, he had to be there as well, had to be in the position. But I think I would go with Maeda. I just think we look more dangerous with Maeda and Jota. I thought Jota was different class when he came on. His goal, he'd no right to score that. Personally, I thought it was some finish. I think Maeda's I just think he's just better suited to that role personally. For what I've seen so far, until he stops rapidly not playing well as that number 9, it's very hard to take him out. Agreed. If you had the Maeda, you'll probably agreed if you're not playing because you've scored in a cup final. Sorry, a semi-final. You've helped your team win quite comfortable. You've scored and that's your job as a striker. So realistically, he'll be annoyed if he's not playing. Well, I would be for scored in a semi and done well. So in terms of winning the game with my team. So, but no, I'm agreeing with you. I think Maeda's probably maybe the only change he'll make. And Jota will come in. I think Forrest will play again. Personally, I think obviously me and you spoke before it. I actually thought Coombe would have played. I thought he'd have played his what we call in terms of if you want to take out form, ability wise, Kuhn and Jota's probably at the point the two best runners we've got at the club. So we kind of thought that I think we spoke about with JP on the chat as well that we were a bit surprised for us to play. I can understand it, but I didn't think he would have played him. But let's be fair, Alan, I thought his team selection for that game alone, it was obviously worked, and you can maybe understand why there wouldn't be any changes at the weekend.
No, I would get it if there wasn't any changes. Obviously, it was quite a convincing one. As we say, it was kind of a bit slow. It was a bit pedestrian, shall we say, in the first half hour before we got the breakthrough goal. But after that, we just seemed to kind of everything clicked, and it was basically attack after attack, and that came with kind of goal after goal. So I would understand fully if he kept the same team, but for me, I'm always looking at where our best qualities lie. Is the Dundee United away going to be a harder game than St Johnstone at Hampden? Probably believe so. I think the Dundee United have done pretty well this year considering where they've came from. Probably a better side, better set up, probably a better coach, better manager, etc. So I would always be of the belief that you go into a game with the best players that you've got possible. For me, I know kind of Nicholas Kuhn might be off form slightly, but for me, I think Jota, Forrest, and Maeda should be playing. I think when you're in comparison for the centre forward position between Dyson Maeda and Adam Ida, for me, there's only one option there. It's Dyson Maeda. I think he's come on leaps and bounds with his kind of conversion rate, with his finishing. Dyson Maeda, we've seen that for the since Kyogo's left. He's properly kind of bedded himself into that centre forward position. Whereas maybe a year or 18 months past, his finishing was maybe left something to be desired, shall we say. That's probably the nicest way of saying it, when he was kind of firing balls all the tap into London Road. So for me, I would understand if he kept exactly the same side, but I tend to agree with one of the comments there, and what you say, Ryan. I would probably, my team would be Adam Ida out, Maida in the middle, and Jota coming in to replace.
I personally think he'll go with he's probably the same team, Alan, maybe apart from that change. I think you obviously still want to go and put on a show, and obviously I think there'll be a lot. I think there's 3,000 odd Celtic fans have had the allocation, so there's a lot of fans going for the away game. Hope to put on a show, and just continue as well, Alan, for the last 2 weeks, because a few games before that it was a wee bit sloppy and maybe a bit of complacency, but I think we can both agree, mate, the last 2 weeks in terms of overall, it's been far better, mate.
Yeah, no, definitely. We can't be too critical. We're just seeing the kind of the high standards, shall we say, that we'll set the beginning of this season. You look at the kind of last calendar year as well. We went kind of domestically. It was undefeated, wasn't it? So we've set massively high standards, and the fans have watched that. The supporters have. We've seen that with our own eyes, and you've looked at maybe the first couple of months of this calendar year, and you've went, oh, this is maybe a bit lacklustre. This is a bit pedestrian. The results have followed with a few defeats, etc. So when you set these standards, we fans, and I'd probably say the club as well, they're expecting you to keep to these standards. It's not possible every week. We know that. Right? There's got to be blips, etc., and bumps in the road. But when there was like kind of 4 defeats in the space of kind of, was it 7 games or something, or something like that. That's when it got slightly worrying. I'm not going to say alarming. It got slightly worrying, but I think when, as you say, you look at the last kind of couple of games, I think the way we've played is kind of come back to what we've been used to, and hopefully we can kick on for the rest of this season and make sure that it's a successful treble. And you'd like to see another few kind of good performances to go along with that.
I think it's just about ending the season strong now, and obviously getting the league wrapped up at the weekend would be ideal, especially when you go to Ibrox the following week as well. So we want to go into that with the best frame of mind as possible, and that is obviously getting the league wrapped up and going there as champions. And hopefully you go there and put a statement out, because that as well, I think I'm quite big on that. We need to go there and win.
Yeah.
And we need to go and show him, listen, you've had a few victories, but listen, we're the champions, and I think we'll do a performance against them over there.
I do not want to hear somebody say, if the result doesn't go away next week, I do not want to hear anybody say, oh, it doesn't matter, we've won the league. Of course it matters.
Of course it
matters.
matters.
It matters. See that? Or
Aye.
It doesn't matter what they've beat us twice. We're going to win a treble. We're going to win the league. Of course it matters. Every game against them matters. So that really, really infuriates me when people say...
It still matters, mate, because I can remember when obviously it happened with Ange, and Ange made a lot of changes, and we were kind of embarrassed. They absolutely done us in.
I get what you're saying, Aurora. You want to set a standard. You want to get that going into next season. That nah, you can't beat us. We've come and beat you at Ibrox. So I'm sure we'll touch on that a lot next week. But no matter the result this weekend, I think it's imperative that we put down kind of a marker to make sure that we're kind of beating them next weekend. Because for me, every one of the games we need to make sure we're winning. It doesn't always work out like that, but I think with the quality that we've got, the majority of the games we should be picking up the 3 points.
No, especially listen, every derby game, Alan, you want to win. No matter if you win the league or no, there's still pride in place, and there's still a lot of things that are targets to win the games, especially at the end of the season. So, and like you say, it's a marker for next season as well. Potentially, I win the treble. You win the last derby game, into pre-season, into new season, with your tails really high up. So, obviously, P. McLaughlin mentions McGregor there. Obviously, you've not been on since the weekend, mate, but what was your thoughts on him at the weekend? Because I thought he was different class. His goal was tremendous. He drives, I think we spoke about it during the game, I think after the game. He's definitely not a defensive, for me anyway, he's not a defensive player. I think he's very attacking player. And I'm not saying he's a number 10 or anything, but I just feel we play better when he's got the ball at his feet and he's riding forward and driving us, because I think his technical ability and his quality is maybe less effective when he plays defensively. So I think if he's further forward and controlling the games, I think he's definitely put out a better light.
Oh, it had a great performance at the weekend. It was definitely thoroughly deserved man of the match. I think he made everything tick for Celtic. The majority of play went through Callum McGregor. And I think even his kind of vision of passing, he's just an ideal professional, I think. And he's just shown that kind of the majority of games. There maybe was a few games kind of throughout the season that we went, oh, what's happened to Callum here? But I think he's just come back with flying colours there. He's just showing that how important he is to us. And I think you fully realise when somebody's missing how much you do miss them. And I think we've spoken about it a number of times that we need to have a contingency plan because Callum's not going to be there forever. You're looking at maybe another couple of years, and we're looking at somebody that can come in and kind of fill that spot. Where he's kind of he leads by his own standard. He's maybe not a captain that shouting and bawling, aggressive, etc. But I think he's a captain that sets a standard, and the players run about him kind of respect that and see the standard that they need to meet. So, no, I thought he was incredible, and I think he's an imperative part of our side going forward. And I think obviously to clinch a league and to clinch the Scottish Cup. I think Callum's going to play a major part in that as well.
I like you say, if we go and win the treble, Alan, if we do, I keep saying if because nothing's ever guaranteed in football. You still need to turn up. Aberdeen will want to obviously do their best to get a Scottish Cup for their team and their fans as well. So, and that'd be a historic moment for him as well. But again, it'd been another amazing kind of on Callum's CV.
Yeah.
To be captain Celtic in our treble, and I think that'd be 6 and 9. I think 6 trebles in 9 years, roughly, give or take. That's extraordinary. No matter what division you're in, what league you're in, to do that is pretty extraordinary. And Callum's been part of a lot of that. So, I just think I thought a bit of the stick he was getting was a wee bit. I understood it, but I think sometimes some guys get criticised for a wee drop in form. You're thinking, right, come on, he's still playing at a higher level.
We're human beings. If it's a few games, then. But if it's the majority of the season, that's when I tend to kind of criticise. If you see it for a prolonged period of time, that somebody's underperforming or no stepping up. But I think with regards to Callum, it was just a wee dip in a few games. It wasn't major, as you say. I think it was an overreaction in regards to Callum because I think the high majority of this season has been at his brilliant sale, and he's kept a level that kind of most players within this league can't keep up with.
No, you're spot on, mate. I think he's the best midfielder in the league. when everything's consistent. Obviously, I think Hatate can be like that. But for me, I just think I'm just a massive McGregor fan, and I just think he's different class, and I think he's vital to the team. Like you said, eventually there will need to be some sort of contingency plan to try and, if you can, replace him or of some sort, because he's going to be a major must. But until it gets to that stage, we just enjoy him being here, and we just hopefully he continues to drive us to more success. But leading into the game of the weekend, mate, and obviously into next week, what's your aspirations for the game of the weekend, performance-wise and team line-up, mate?
I would like to see us come out and have a really positive, good performance. As I say, these games can have got a tendency to maybe be nervy at times. You've seen that in kind of past years. But hopefully we could come out and kind of put on a good performance. I think, was it last year? It was Kilmarnock we won the league, wasn't it?
We beat them
5-0 or something, wasn't
5-0 or something. I
so
think
it can go the opposite way. So I hope it does kind of go like that. As long as we get it on the line. Obviously, ideally, get into the derby next week, you would like to kind of have a really positive performance and a positive result. But you're just looking to kind of get it on the line with the week as well. As we said earlier, I could understand if, with regards to team lineups, if Brendan kept the same team. But for me, I would go with Sinisalo, Alistair Johnston, Carter Vickers, Liam Scales. I think probably done enough to keep his place. Greg Taylor, with Cal McGregor, Arnie Engels, Rail Hatate, James Forrest, Jota, and Dyson Maida. And I'll say a 3-0 victory.
I think same as you, mate, as a team. I think it'll be basically the same team to weekend, but I think Maida will be up front and Jota will come in out wide. I just think Jota gives you that creativity as well, and I think when he came on, he showed that, and I just think he's different class. And I think next year, I know he's not a new signing now, but I think next year when he gets back to, I think he said a few weeks ago that he's still not up to full strength and full fitness, and boy, if that's him no fully ready yet, then I think next year with potentially, if it's Jota or Tierney, or if it's Maeda and Tierney, whoever it is, it's going to be quite a force for reckoning with, especially in Scotland, Alan. So, but I'm the same as you, mate. I'm the exact same team in terms of but Maeda up front and Jota out instead of that. Either I think will come on eventually in the game, and hopefully he'll get a goal to add to his tally. I think it'll be. I think it'll be similar to the last two games. I just think they're a bit of a roller now. The victory is obviously the most important thing, but I think the way they're performing now, and it wouldn't surprise me if they go every game now playing like that, because they've got a wee bit of form now, a bit of momentum, and I can just see he's potentially going to get a really good result. So I hope that's the case, mate. And we're sitting here on Monday on the dial in, and we're chatting about how we won the league and how it was a 5-star performance. But the most important thing is, mate, is obviously the victory. No, mate. But again, thanks to all the viewers and commenters. I know it was a bit early tonight. Sorry about the time wise, a bit earlier, but obviously just life and availability and things happen. We will be back on Monday as normal as a dial-in. Just unfortunately, there's only 2 this week. Just due to circumstances, but we will be back on Monday as usual for the dial-in. Appreciate your comments. Please, if you can, like the podcast and subscribe. It helps the channel get out there. It helps YouTube push it out, and it helps us just get known to maybe other friends or family members that don't really know about us. Also, we're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, every social media platform. You'll get us on there. And for any updates, if it's guests, if it's podcasts, any news about the podcast, you'll get it on there. But again, thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday night. Friday tomorrow, weekend starts, so enjoy your weekend. If you go to the game, enjoy. Hopefully you're celebrating. Take an extra maybe 20 quid for the fuel, because your ticket prices are back up. But overall, hope you all enjoy your weekend coming up. Take care, enjoy the football, and we'll see you all very soon.
Well.
Well.